So today, lads, we're going to be talking about MiLaysia Fulwiley. And MiLaysia Fulwiley is the single most box office player in college basketball. MiLaysia Fulwiley is somebody that might be the best guard in college basketball. And the reason I say might is that she's not had the ability to show what she's been able to do. And I don't even know what what to expect from her. And I don't know if she's going to be able to do this for if she's left on more, whether she makes more mistakes and struggles, or whether or not that's what she's needed to get to the next level. But I really don't want to see what happened last year at MiLaysia Fulwiley. And the reason why I'm making this video is it is genuinely like a chance that she comes off the bench again next year. Everybody talking about how, they have, there's going to be a starting spot for her because Raven Johnson's going to go. Raven Johnson's probably coming back. And MiLaysia Fulwiley and a Raven Johnson backcourt is not going to be ideal because there's not enough shooting there. Fulwiley's not a horrifically awful shooter like a Raven Johnson, but it's very difficult to put the two of them in a backline. And Raven Johnson can't play off the ball. Really. She can't shoot the ball at all, and they just kind of don't guard her, as great as Raven Johnson is in the defensive end. So it's a really tough one anyway to see if Raven Johnson comes back, MiLaysia Fulwiley starting. And MiLaysia Fulwiley is a probable first-round pick who might end up coming off the bench for 3 years of college. And it is just kind of frustrating watching what's going on with her in South Carolina. And again, there are reasons to stay. If you want to go and win 4 national titles in 4 years, which there's a good chance that she does, cool, stay. If she's already got the deal with Curry Brand, if MiLaysia Fulwiley wants to become the biggest star in college basketball, go. And it's not even go to a bad college. You still go to a top college. Go to a top college with fans because MiLaysia Fulwiley is crazy good. She plays 19 minutes a game, basically averaging identical numbers the last 2 years. The problem is that her assist to turnover ratio is getting close to 1. And I think that's the only problem. She is very turnover prone. And when it comes to playing for South Carolina, if you're just looking at her games, she plays 10 minutes in a game against Indiana. And it wasn't her game. And that's fine. And if you're looking at a lot of these games, there are games where she plays 9 minutes in tough games. There are games where she plays 15 minutes. And that's the thing with South Carolina. There's no stars on this team. There is absolutely no stars. And Dawn Staley, I need to reiterate this. Dawn Staley is an exceptionally good coach. But what they say about South Carolina players is they're when you're drafting a South Carolina player, they know how to play their role. MiLaysia Fulwiley is no role player. And not even is no role player. If you tell her, at the WNBA level, she is a star. And she has the potential to be the biggest player in college basketball. There is only one player that I think right now, I don't think Kiyomi McMillan is good enough. I think she's as exciting. I don't think she is good enough at basketball to draw the almost Caitlin Clark hype. And the funniest thing about this is that the anti-Clarks, they don't want to push Fulwiley because a lot of them are South Carolina fans, and if you're trying to push Fulwiley as this unbelievable player, she'd be starting. And the problem is that she's coming off the bench for Raven Johnson, and she's probably going to come off the bench for Raven Johnson next year, despite being South Carolina's best player. And when I say that, is she the best player in South Carolina's system where they're no All-Americans? I'm trying to think, was she the top? I think she was the top scorer for South Carolina, if I'm not mistaken. Joyce Edwards have more points? Sorry, Joyce Edwards is the top scorer. Joyce Edwards comes off the bench too. And by the way, Joyce Edwards might be the best freshman in the nation. And that's one of the things when you're with South Carolina is you've got Chloe Kitts, who was averaging 10 points per game. Exceptional player. is that all of these players, if you're going to go to South Carolina, you're taking a hit to your individual stats and you're sacrificing that for team winning. And I understand why players would do that. The problem is with MiLaysia Fulwiley is that we have never seen, outside of Michael Jordan, there are very few examples of flashy guards playing on short leashes that have had success. Like, there are certain play styles that you need freedom. We've all made the same argument that if Caitlin Clark had gone to UConn, Caitlin Clark would have been told play small forward, and because she didn't play enough defense, would have been coming off the bench. And what happened? Caitlin Clark beat UConn. Caitlin Clark and a bunch of 3-stars beat UConn. They beat them. Because there are some players that are system players and there's some players that are the system. And I actually think MiLaysia Fulwiley is the damn system. And the problem is that South Carolina are too good to play around her skill set. I don't think she will ever be anything other than an impact player at South Carolina. And yeah, she can win. But the question really is for Fulwiley is it worth falling to the 9th pick in the draft and winning 4 national championships? Heck, and maybe if you want to fit in and play more minutes in South Carolina, you stop doing what you're good at and you lose a bit of the freedom and the flair you have in your game. Because if she makes a mistake, she's getting subbed off. And that's the thing with Fulwiley, is that Dawn Staley, and you know what, rightfully so, she's had success. Like, her job is to win. So if she makes a mistake, she's subbed off. And I don't think that's beneficial for a flare guard. It's not. If you look at the top guards in WNBA, you have got, right now, Sabrina Ionescu, who went to Oregon, and like they kind of ran through her, a bit like a Caitlin Clark type-esque situation. You've got Caitlin Clark, who went to Iowa. You've got Arike Gumbawale, who went to Notre Dame. And again, Notre Dame are a school that have been exceptionally good for guards. Like, Notre Dame on that one team had Marina Mabrey, Jackie Young, and Arike Gumbawale all in the same class. And Kelsey Mitchell went to Ohio State. Who else are pretty good guards? Leonie Fiebich came from Germany. The best guard is kind of a 2-3 that came out of South Carolina is what's her name? Jeez, I'm just blanking on this one. It's freaking Alicia Gray. But like, outside of Alicia Gray, there's been no real success as far as guards are concerned. And I don't feel like these type of systems are beneficial for a player like a Fulwiley, who is all flair. Like, there are things that any basketball coach, she's one of those players that it's like, she might do something that's the opposite of what you say. She's not going to fit into a system, but like, that type of a player can carry teams to wins. And I would love to see Fulwiley at, like, if Olivia Miles goes, and have this unbelievable dynamic backcourt of Fulwiley and Hidalgo, 2 combo guards just tearing it up in the ACC. Like, I'm playing for a good young coach in Neil Ivey, especially because of, again, how much people are watching Notre Dame and how like big that is. Like, they're the same class. There's a chance that they could recruit well. If she ends up transferring to Notre Dame, you could transfer and try to get a big in there, or like another wing. And that would be so fun to watch. Obviously, some bias. I think her in Iowa, playing for packed crowds every single game, and these packed crowds watching her play 30 minutes. The problem is that Iowa have Addie Deal, who's a very similar player, not as good as Fulwiley though. Or she could go and do what like Chavez is doing. Chavez is going to Oklahoma. She's going to, as good as Oklahoma are, you're obviously not just choosing a bad school. Go to a tournament school, but I don't know. Maybe you're seeing what Amore has done at Kentucky. You go there, or you look at Duke. You got Toby Fournier. You got defense everywhere at Duke. You've got some length. You've got defense. You've got a good team. And just being like, you know what? Chelsea Gray came out of Duke. Let's just go to Duke and try win a national championship there. Because I think that MiLaysia Fulwiley should be in the conversation with Hannah Hidalgo and Juju Watkins. And not only is MiLaysia Fulwiley is not the best bench player for South Carolina. And I think with the short leash that she plays on, you're not going to see her. It's going to go one of two ways. She's either going to fix her mistakes, but the ironic thing is that coming from her freshman to her sophomore year, she still is playing on this short leash. She has no more freedom, and she's assisting less, turning over more. Like, you have seen regression in MiLaysia Fulwiley this year. If MiLaysia Fulwiley had made a huge jump between last year and this year, positively, then you can make the argument that she should stay at South Carolina. Because I'm sorry, as great as it is to win 4 national championships or win multiple national championships, for these players, the most important thing should be where they can go to help them the most in the pros and where they can go to help them the most in endorsements and make them the most money. And for MiLaysia Fulwiley, that is literally anywhere but UConn or South Carolina. Any other college she could go to. Literally any other one, and she is their star. And I mean that. If not, they're 1A, 1B. Whereas for South Carolina, she's just another piece in it. She's just another piece of the system. And not only that, she's another cog in a system that doesn't quite fit properly. And if she can go somewhere else, she can be the damn system for a 1 or a 2 seed in a tournament. That is how good a player she is. But anyway, I'll see you guys.